Welcome to English 1A. I do look forward to teaching this class, and I hope in the end you'll find yourself to have eventually become an improved reader and writer. Check regularly for announcements, as these are very important. Announcements could include things like the change of due date, maybe just an announcement encouraging students to not overlook certain instructions in each of the assignments, things like that. They could just be reminders. So many of the answers to questions that come up in these types of classes can be found in the syllabus, and so I have included a link to the syllabus here. Okay, so if you have a question about dates or requirements or pretty much anything else about the class, you might want to refer to this instructor's message page and then click on the syllabus, or you can go directly to the syllabus from the start page. Okay, please know this, and I would like to list 4 things that are important to know here and expound on them a bit. First of all, there are 4 assignment categories, and this is important to know, and I'd kind of like to explain this to you so that you have this sort of organizational structure of the class in your mind. So the first assignment category is grammar punctuation. These assignments will be due every Wednesday. The only exception will be the very first one, which is due Thursday, this Thursday the 10th. So I included a link to our first assignment here, so you could click directly on that link, or again, you can go to the link from the home page or the assignments page if you'd like to do that. So again, they're due every Wednesday. You might want to put that on your calendar, along with everything else here as far as dates go. With regard to grammar punctuation assignments, be sure to view and listen to the grammar punctuation lessons prior to attempting the assignment. It's review for some of you, and for others it may be new, the topic that I may be discussing, but review or new, doesn't matter, to be reminded at least of the rules of grammar in the English language is important. And then have 2 separate tabs open while you work on the grammar assignment. Okay, one of them for the assignment itself, and the other one next to it for referring to the lesson, because as you're going to discover, these grammar punctuation assignments are simply taking sentences that I submitted to you for your examination and either keeping them the same or changing them. Now, of course, most of them need to be changed, and the change is in direct reference to whatever the lesson was. Let's say, for example, the first one is about commas. So you look at each of the 10 sentences and you decide if there is a comma missing or misplaced, or if there's a comma there that doesn't belong there. So you will fix that sentence and then submit it to me. Again, most of them need fixing. And within I think all of these assignments, 6 assignments, there are a few that don't need to be changed. So you just put no change. Okay, so if you've got 2 tabs open, you've got one with the assignment itself and the other to reference. Okay, so it's sort of like an open book quiz in a way. Okay, so that's grammar and punctuation assignment. The second category is essay. See both first and final draft due dates. So make sure you keep your eyes peeled for these due dates. They are, of course, on the assignments page. So I have included the memoir essay directions here for you as a link to get started if you'd like to take a look at that. Be sure to listen to and read all information before attempting to compose your essay. Writing is complicated. It's extremely difficult. One of my favorite books on writing is called On Writing, and it's by Stephen King. And he discusses at length how writing is a very difficult thing, and isn't for everybody. That is, superior writing isn't for everybody, but everybody can become a better writer. So, and the way we do that, I think primarily is through a lot of reading, because we familiarize ourselves with good writing when we read a lot. And then secondly, through practice. So, and as we practice, we have to apply the rules to writing, of which there are many. So be sure to listen to and read all the information before attempting any of the essays. Also, regarding essays, inform me through email of the three rough draft discussion meeting times that you prefer. Okay, you're going to find as you start this class that one of the first things I'm asking you to do is to send me an email indicating what three, and I have a list of all of the assigned times, indicating which three of those times would work best for you so that we can meet in a Zoom meeting. Okay, and it will be regarding your rough draft. If you get that to me earlier, obviously the better chance you have of getting one of those times. And then lastly, about the essay, please do not disregard my suggestions altogether. My suggestions, generally speaking, are probably going to be constructive and good and helpful, and suggestions that, if acted upon, will improve your essays. So please don't just disregard them altogether. Now, if I make suggestions that are, shall we say, preferences, then you're not obligated to take on the suggestions that I make. But I think that it'll be really clear what suggestions should be acted upon and which are choices that you have. Okay, and then our third category is reading journal entry. I call this the RJE. Make sure you look for both the first and final draft due dates. I've included a link here, information about the reading journal entry. You're going to find this is rather lengthy, but I've put a lot of time into it, and all of my other instructional pages, so that it's real clear what you're expected to do. So for the reading journal entry, this isn't simply a summary of each of the three parts of the book, but rather a chance for you to connect with the story. And I really need to emphasize this strongly. There tends to be a temptation amongst many students to see this reading journal entry as simply a retelling of that part of the story, but that's not the purpose. The objective is to connect with the story and to personalize it. Now, if you read about the reading journal entry, that's going to be extremely helpful to you, because you're then going to know exactly what it is I expect from these assignments. If you don't read this, you're going to make the mistake of thinking this is simply a retelling of the story in your own words, and your score will reflect that. So I would highly suggest you read this. And then the fourth category is they say, I say response. These are due every Wednesday, just like the grammar punctuation assignments are due every Wednesday, of course, with the exception of the first one, which is this Thursday. They say, I say response is due every Wednesday. Now, about the they say, I say assignments is a link here that gives directions about these. What you're going to find, I think, is that these assignments are designed in order to encourage the students to actually read the text. I was a student for many, many years in my life, and have benefited from that with several degrees, and it's been extremely helpful. And I would encourage you to do the same thing. So my whole point here in saying that is I have read many, many textbooks, and I've also had along my side many peers who I spent time with in study groups, etc. And it was at that point in my college career when I began to do study groups that I became grateful to my parents for their encouragement to not take shortcuts in life. And so I actually read the textbooks. And while I may have, I don't know, maybe there's a possibility I would have done better in some of my classes, or I'm sorry, as well in some of my classes had I not read the entire text. But the truth is, I gained a lot more knowledge by reading the text. And so these assignments are designed in order to encourage you to actually do that, to read the text. Also, regarding they say, I say response category, consider these to be great opportunities for easy point collection. So other than reading the text, the actual response itself is pretty simple. And you're going to find that to be true when you read the directions, okay? All right. So there are four categories of assignments. We read through those: grammar, punctuation, essay, reading journal entry, and they say, I say response. And then number 2, there are a total of 4 required essays in this course. So I'm referring back to B again here, but I'm trying to emphasize the knowledge of this. The first essay is called a memoir essay. The second, a persuasive essay. The third is a combination expository/persuasive. And the fourth one is your last essay, which is seen by some as a kind of final exam, but it's called a timed on-demand essay. Don't be too concerned with the types of essay right here in the center, the second one being persuasive and the third being expository/persuasive. Simply follow the prompt, and you'll see a list of prompts, and just make sure that you're following the prompt, and you'll do just fine. And then number 3 here, there is a strict 24-hour late policy. So we're kind of getting into a little on the negative side here, but these are things that need to be covered. There's a strict 24-hour late policy. In other words, I only allow 24 hours past the due date of any assignment. And beyond that, I don't accept them. In addition, you won't even be able to turn them in because it'll be a closed assignment at that point. You don't want it to be a late assignment for obvious reasons. 50% is significantly lower, as you know. And it's not only just 50%, but it's 50% of earned credit for late work. So, for example, let's say that an assignment is worth 30 points and you get it turned in late. Now, let's say that had you turned it in on time and you had gotten a 26 out of 30, because you turned it in late, you get 13, which is 50% of the credit that you earned. So, yeah, it's significantly lower, so don't do that to yourself. I do allow for plenty of time for all of my assignments, but you have to pace yourself, right? And then lastly, I do not give extra credit, so please don't ask. I don't want to get too deeply into the philosophy of that, but again, it is connected to my previous statement in that I do give plenty of time for assignments. And the only thing I'm really asking of you, and you've heard this all through your academic life, but you're going to hear it again, is for you to do the best you can. And so I, having been doing this teaching gig for nearly 30 years now, I can pretty much tell when somebody's doing their best. So that's all I ask of you. And I'm fair. I think you'll find that to be true. If you guys have any questions at any time, feel free to email me. I will get back with you as quickly as possible. And again, I'm looking forward to getting to know you all a little bit this semester. And good luck to you.